Close your eyes for a second. That's it. Think of the happiest memory you have. A moment where everything was right, where you felt safe or loved or completely and utterly alive. Hold on to that. Because that memory is what's going to keep you safe from the darkest creatures in the wizarding world. Not power, not strength, but joy. Today, we are looking at Expecto Patronum. Expecto Patronum is without doubt the most emotionally charged spell in the wizarding world. The silver blue light exploding from the end of your wand, your personal Patronus charm venturing out to deflect the evil that is coming towards you, charging through the darkness, deflecting the evil that feeds on negativity with pure joy. It's become the image of hope across the wizarding world. But most people don't understand what it takes to actually cast a Patronus charm. The incantation comes from Latin, as a lot of our spells do. Expecto means I wait, I expect, or I look for. Patronum means a protector, a guardian. So the full phrase would translate to I await my protector. Or more powerfully, I summon my guardian. So before we go any further, here is your wand movement for Expecto Patronum. Expecto Patronum. The movement matters. The sweep is not a static circle, it's a sweeping movement. We can see this when Severus Snape called forth his Patronus charm to protect Harry. The sweeping movement invokes emotion from within the wizard or the witch to encourage the memories that we hold to come forward and save what needs to be saved. A simple movement indeed, but so emotionally charged, very few wizards and witches can actually perform it. The Patronus charm is ancient. It predates most other spells that we know today. Originally, it was not used to fight Dementors, which weren't even classified until much later in wizarding history, but as a general ward against dark forces. It was understood back then that not even pure magic could defeat some dark forces. Something unusual, something unique was required. As we know, Dementors are themselves one of the most disturbing creatures to exist in our world. And they are, as Dumbledore once expressed them, the foulest things to ever walk the earth. They consume every good feeling, every good thought, leaving nothing behind but an empty, cold shell. Prolonged exposure to a Dementor can be catastrophic. Some people never recover. That's why, when the only thing that stands between you and a Dementor is your Patronus charm, that tells us how important this is. That's a heavy spell to cast, right? To cast your Patronus charm successfully, you need to target that perfect memory you have, where you are happy and loved and safe. You need to project that, not just mentally, audibly too. You need to put every ounce of effort you have into creating your Patronus charm, or it simply will not work. And at that time when we need it the most, the spell reminds us what true happiness really is. But when it works, it creates a glorious image in front of the caster. My Patronus charm is a brown bear. Casting it in the woodlands where I last used it against Dementors was a life-altering event for me. Everything changed at that point. My approach to life changed. I was able to recall the happiest memories I had ever had. Our guardian, made of pure blue-white light, pulses of blue light around them, creating a shield that nothing, not even a Dementor, can pass through. Every person has a different Patronus charm. Harry's was a stag, which was his father's animagus form, a connection to something he lost and couldn't let go. Why would he? Hermione's was an otter, curious, fun, clever. Ron's, on the other hand, was a Jack Russell, slightly less well-behaved, but very fitting for his personality. Luna Lovegood, she had a hare, and Dumbledore, famously, had a phoenix, one of the most famous magical animals to ever exist, for hands down the most powerful wizard to ever exist. There was a reason that Harry Potter was able to cast this spell as a 13-year-old boy, a spell that most time-served wizards and witches couldn't do. He had suffered hard as a young child, losing his parents, possibly one of the hardest things any child could ever experience. It enabled him to maintain memories that he would never forget, true love from his parents, a ferocious memory that he was able to hold on to, and when the time was right, he was able to cast forward his Patronus charm without falter. A Patronus charm can also change. It doesn't always have to be the same animal portrayed in front of you. Your experiences in life can change your Patronus charm, and we've seen that before. It's also worth noting who can't cast a Patronus charm, and the reasons why are pretty clear. Whilst we do not know for sure that Voldemort could not cast a Patronus charm, it is quite believable that he couldn't. He is not filled with the same love and emotion that Harry or Dumbledore were, which meant that he was unable to cast a Patronus charm simply because he could not recall that love himself. As he had deliberately torn his soul into multiple pieces, calling forth a Patronus just would have been impossible. This would also stand for a lot of dark wizards, but we cannot assume. Everyone's life was different. Not all dark wizards started that way. I sometimes think about the Expecto Patronum spell outside of the wizarding world. The idea that there is something available to us to protect us from wrongdoing, evil, negative thoughts, the darkness and noise that some of us suffer, the weight of everything around us is magical. That somewhere inside us there is the ability to create calm is a thought that we can hold on to forever. So whenever you're feeling low, remember a Patronus charm exists in the magical world, but it also exists inside. Class, the Patronus charm, the most important spell you could ever learn. Well, thank you class for attending today. I really enjoyed this video and I hope you did too. Next week, we're going to go on a slightly different journey and look at a magical beast. So if you consider yourself somewhat like Newt Scamander, stick around, you know what to do, and I'll see you next week.